Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Coaster Update. We've got some breaking news out of Sandusky, Ohio, where Cedar Point has just released its first official video of some test runs of Top Thrill 2. Now, yes, we all know we've seen some video circulating on Twitter from off the peninsula, from maybe even on the peninsula, from different Twitter accounts, posting some video of Top Thrill 2 testing, but now we have an official video from the park that they released just today all over its social media networks. And we're gonna break it down a little bit tonight. So I should say because Danny's not here tonight. But what we always do here on this show is like to look at the test run footage, and then compare it to maybe some of the animations that we've seen and kind of what our expectations going in when we first announced when Cedar Point first announced this ride was coming to the park. This refurbished Top Thrill Dragster was being redone and refurbished and changed into Top Thrill 2. So I'm going to let you go and find the video yourself on Twitter, on Instagram. We do respect copyright owners' rights here on this show, unlike many YouTube channels. We respect Cedar Point's copyrights in their videos that they shoot and their photographers. And it's not like this is very difficult to find. You've probably already seen it. If not, I've put the link down in the description down below. So you can go to either their Instagram, and I've linked their Twitter accounts here to the direct post where you can find this footage of Top Thrill 2 testing. So let's break it down. Let's watch it together a little bit here, okay? So the video is not very long. And I think my first impressions of Top Thrill 2 and this test footage is, yeah, this is kind of what we expected, right? Just some stuff to break down here. You see, so I'm going to restart the video here. The video is only like 52 seconds long. Comes out of the station, kind of sneaks out. So that's kind of interesting how that happens. We were wondering how people would load onto it. Launches, the first launch looks pretty decent. And you can see they cut away there, and they cut away for a very particular reason. I think they're trying to, I don't know if hide is the right word, but they are definitely trying to skew how far it's going up that first top hat hill. Okay, you see it's kind of even in the video with that first walkway with that first crossbar. Now, granted, these are trains that do not look to be loaded. That they're pretty. They have some test dummies on there, so maybe that weight's going to change just a little bit. But it's not going up. It's barely crosses over that first crossbar. But once again, if you watch the animated POV and the animated videos that Cedar Point put out for this ride, that's pretty much what we expected. We did not think that it was going to go up very high on that first launch, which was my big disappointment when it was announced. So I've kind of come to terms with this. I really hope that that when you would get that first launch, it would go a little bit further, maybe halfway up the top hat, halfway up. And that it doesn't go up because you can tell in the video that it's still on that straightaway section, that right after that second crossbar, that's when it starts to twist up to get up that top hat. And it's not even, that train is not even close to twisting anywhere. Now, who knows what's going to happen when you have a fully loaded train with launches that are outside of this test launch period. So things could change. But I would once again temper expectations and assume that they're not going to change. So it goes up right past that first crossbar on the top hat hill. And then it comes back down. Now, let's continue the video here. Comes back down, goes backwards. No airtime hill, mind you. But we already came to terms with that as well. They do give us a very good look at the spike, though. And I'm kind of impressed with how high it goes up that spike that you are. If you look at the different colored sections, you're into the last full red section of that spike. There's a very red section at the very top. There was no way it was ever going to go up that high. Okay, guys. So there was never ever confusion in my mind that it was going to go that high. If you know of any launch ride and using spikes, like Wicked Twister, back in the day had a huge section that the train hopefully never went up. Obviously it's there in case something launches too fast or something happens with some force of nature that pushes it up or something. So they give themselves a lot of clearance there. And looking at this video, it goes up fairly high. You're almost all the way up there on that spike. Comes down. I think that's going to be a really fun section of this ride. That I think people they're kind of underestimating. I think everyone's like, I'm bummed about, maybe the first launch not being is how it used to be. That, hey, there was nothing better than Dragster's first launch at 120 miles straight out up the hill. Okay. Nothing better than that launch. We're not going to get that. That's gone. But now we get this beautiful spike on the back end, and it's going to be a nice drop down. You watch that video again. I'm going to restart it up. You go up that spike, get a little bit of hang time, come right back down. You see it's a big drop straight down, and now you're flying down that track, and you're gonna and they kind of cut away again. I think that second launch is going to be the impressive launch. I'm hoping that swing that you come down, pick up that speed, and you get even more speed off of the magnetic LSMs, and then you fly right over the top just like you used to with Dragster. So if anyone's ridden any swing launches, that second pass through going back out is really fantastic. Usually the pass through going backwards is a lot of fun. So that's another part of this ride that I think people are underestimating. That I've been on Pantheon as recently as, what was it? Was it last year? I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was last year. Pantheon was that launch is really fantastic, and you're talking about something a lot smaller. Granted, it has the speed hill. It has the speed hill. I know. I hear you. I hear you. I'm the one who wanted the speed hill to begin with. I thought if you added a speed hill into this, I think there's no doubt that would be 100 times better than Dragster used to be. Without the speed hill, I think there's hope that it's at least the same. There's hope that it might be a little bit better. That pass through going backwards is going to be fun. Going up that spike is going to be fun. Coming down through that spike and then out again is going to be fun. And then the top hat is the top hat. It's going to be the same as it always was, I think, going over the top. And maybe you get a little bit more speed watching it. It doesn't look like you do, though, going over that top hat. It looks like you're carrying about the same speed as you always have over the top hat. I'm just rewatching that launch out over the top hat. Looks about the same exact speed as what Dragster always was. And then you do the little twisty-do down out to the finish line, and the ride is over. So you get a little bit more news out of, I don't know if it came out of Winter Chill Out maybe, but the news was that there are going to be no seatbelts on this ride, so that's interesting. Going to be a lap bar only ride. The trains, for all intents and purposes, just looking at them, look very comfortable. I don't see anything on those trains that make me. And granted, we saw some pictures from Winter Chill Out. We saw the people who sat in the train and all that. So there's nothing on that train that really stands out to me that's like, oh my God, that's a real issue there. Okay, it sounds all the reports were pretty fairly positive for the most part. With the trains, no seatbelts is a big deal. For some people, they having the lap bar only seems like a really cool thing. And just comparing it to the initial animations put out back in August when this first dropped, when the news first blew up, I would say that those animations were pretty spot on. Whereas, we see other companies out there, I don't want to name names, the companies, who they are, that always tend to speed up their point of views, speed up their animations to make rides look like they're going a hell of a lot faster than what they actually do when they actually get produced, actually get built in the real world. Those POVs look a lot faster compared to what the POVs look like when they're actually produced. We've seen that happen a number of times across the industry, where POVs were very not in line with what we see when that ride's actually built. Sometimes they're real close. Sometimes it's like, oh, it feels like it's slower here or slower there. But this one, I'll tell you what, this one looks spot on to me. I don't think the park's been trying to trick us with what this is. I don't think the park's trying to, granted they're hyping it as they would any new ride, so it's the same amount of hype, I think. I don't think they're trying to oversell us on this. I think it's going to surprise a few people. I really do. I think it's going to be, they really need this ride back open in their lineup. They do. I do believe that. It takes people. We've known for the past few seasons at Cedar Point, the lines have gotten really bad on Maverick, Millennium, and Steel Vengeance, and having another top tier ride two, right? I don't know, whatever. So having another ride open that takes away some people from those other lines is just going to make the overall park experience better. And that first year, people are going to be lined up to ride this, that people always lined up to ride Dragster, even when it was 17 seconds long. So now that it's Top Thrill 2, and you add in another spike and you add in a few more launches, I think people are going to be just as eager to ride this. So yes, maybe we lost a little. Maybe we lost a little with that first launch of Dragster, that front row first launch. I don't think you can get that anywhere else. Even on like rides of similar nature, like King Ka. And I've never been on King Ka, but everyone says no, it's not the same. It wasn't the same with Dragster. It's just better. Maybe it was the trains, maybe it was the seating arrangement. I don't know what it was, but everyone says it was better on Dragster. Um, but at least we have the hope here that there's something good coming. And I am hopeful of that's exactly who I am. I think that backwards launch is going to be fun. I think going up the spike is going to be fun. That drop straight down is a 200 plus foot drop straight down. And then that second launch going up the hill, hopefully kind of recreates. It's not like that dead stop where it's like dead stop to 120. So it's not going to be that. So I don't think the launch is going to be better. But I do think the launch is still going to be pretty damn good going up that top hat. So, like I said, the first video is out. We are well on our way. We are about a month away here until this ride opens to the public. I believe that they're going to start doing media days and test runs and pass holder days towards the end of April. So we are gonna be on this one and riding this coaster sooner rather than later. And I think it's awesome too that this thing's testing already. This thing's ready to go. It's going to be open for opening day. So unlike other chains and other parks where you might be waiting until mid-June and July to open up a ride here, we're going to have it day one, which is going to be really cool. So as always, we will keep you updated on what's going on. Thank you for joining us here. I'm of course Andrew Barczyk from Chicago, Illinois. Right on, Ride Warriors.